You go right ahead.
Goddard Concrete, established 1958. Kenneth E. Goddard. We have lost our old-time boss man, and sadly feel our loss. An honest and fair man as ever, balanced wages and costs. God gave him the gift of wisdom, the understanding of family and life. He gave him a precious soulmate, Neoma, his most loving wife. The first few years in the business, he poured floors and finished driveways. We find him working in Nichols Hills in the Daniel and Creasy days, and he came as near as any man, paving the road to its end. Always had $1 and was ready to help a friend. In his early days, you could tell him a mile when you saw him driving in. Always wore a pressed white shirt and sported a $1 million grin. He ran a business some 40 years, some 46 years. He ran a business some 46 years. His partner, his wife alone, and everything that he ever did, he did his way and on his own. Was true to a friend as any man who ever paved the sod. A man that didn't need no one but Neoma, their home in God. He has gone like a lot of old believers on the wings of God's holy word. For there never was a square boss man than Kenneth Eugene Goddard. Thank you.
Beautiful.
I had one little slip there.
That's okay. That was great. That was wonderful. Questions. Now you are Kenneth Goddard's cousin?
Nephew.
You are Kenneth Goddard's nephew.
I'm a nephew. I'm the first nephew that went to work for him.
Okay.
Out of, I think about all of them at some time or another worked for him.
Uh-huh. And you worked for him in the early years during the paving, when he had the paving company?
Yeah, before he had the paving company.
Before he had the paving company.
My dad worked for him and Jim Daniels. And my dad, I went to work when I was, about 10 years old. I'd go to work with Dad, and Kenneth put me on the payroll, picking up all the tools and things, and he'd take me in to get a piece of pie or something sometime during the day. My dad would get mad at me because I'd end up eating his lunch before noon. I ate his lunch and mine too. But that's quite a day. We had, back when we had all the black guys working with us, there was Jethro, Lindsay Taylor, Roy Wright, Fulbright, and trying to think of some others, but that's about the main ones I remember. And then when I was 14 years old, that's when he put the plant in.
Mm-hmm.
There in Midwest City. And I remember when they had the old crane, and old Mr. Herr used to operate the crane. He lived up the street there, an old family friend. And I remember old Herr driving that crane, and he always wore those engineers old overalls and one of those big old hats. He always had an old grease gun, running around squirting grease on everything. He was quite a character. And it's quite a story. I remember old George Criz worked there. Old Garland Stockton. Remember that. There were some others I was trying to think of, but time passes you by. Ronnie Monks was there. I think when I worked summers there at the plant, and I did batched one summer. I think when I was 16 years old, run that batch plant up there for him.
Wow.
And before that, he used to let me, when I was younger, sell that sand on the weekends. When people come up there and drop some sand on them.
Oh, now that's really interesting because
I think Kelly used to do that too.
yeah, that's how I heard that Kelly and the girls made their extra money on the weekend, is he would let them load up sand and on the weekend.
Sand and gravel, yeah. And, yeah, they put me out of work when they took my job there.
Now, do you remember when he first decided to purchase this, the batch plant from Mr. Stokes?
I don't know now. What I understood was him and Joe Creasy were in together or something. And he bought old Joe out. Something about it had so much money in a paper bag. I forget what it was. Cash money would have bought him out.
Okay.
I believe that. But it was a pretty good sum of money.
Uh-huh.
And I think that's before he put in the other plants. I think they still just had one plant. They had one plant they put in up north of Nichols Hill, or up by Nichols Hills. They shut that one down. And they had one out by the river on Portland somewhere.
Uh-huh.
And that one they shut down too. So he ended up with Midwest City and downtown. Come here, buddy. Midwest City, downtown, and Choctaw. Those three now. It was quite a deal. I just remember the other night old George Chris worked. And we used to clean those trucks out when the concrete gets stuck down in them.
Uh-huh.
And old George and them, they'd get out there with a chisel and a hammer. Then they had cherry bombs. They'd put the cherry bombs down in there and then run for the top. Trying to blow that concrete out.
Oh, how funny.
They were crazy.
Uh-huh.
There was never a dull moment. J.D. Blair one night coming back from, I guess, partying or something. And they missed that 23rd Street Bridge over there. And I guess it about killed both of them. So I don't know if that kind of got him to thinking a little more seriously about life or what, but very well might have.
Mm-hmm.
Very well might have. I think that's when he lost most of his teeth.
Oh my goodness.
Back then.
Mm-hmm.
Old J.D. He's character anyway.
I want to overdo you here.
Another thing I do remember about Kenneth, I guess I was probably, I don't know, probably 7 or 8 years old. And he was selling dishes. And he came out and he had these dishes he was showing Mom and Dad. And I remember him putting one on the floor and getting up, jumping up and down on it, showing him how strong it was. And I think from that he went to work for TG and there for a while.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the only jobs I ever remember him having.
Mm-hmm.
Summertime, I stayed out at Grandma's, and about every Saturday night or Friday night, I'm not sure which, my job was to clean out the car, get it ready to go to the drive-in. And I'd go with him and Neil to the drive-in every Friday night. I'd sit in the back seat and got all the popcorn, Cokes I wanted.
Is that the old one that used to be on?
Either the Skyview up on 23rd,
yeah,
or the one there that used to be at Douglas and 15th.
15th and Douglas, yes. That's where I saw my first drive-in movie.
The Obama.
Yep.
He went to Soldier Creek School. Did you know?
Oh, I didn't know that. He went to Soldier Creek.
Yeah, he told me he went to Soldier Creek. He used to walk down Douglas when it was a sand road, coming home.
Uh-huh.
Said one occasion he came upon a car that was parked down there, going up and down. He said he went over and looked in the window and decided to go on home.
I bet.